Hi everybody. Okay, this is the final part of the event form video you'll be happy to hear, and this one is about food and what to do with food. Okay, so basically we're going to talk you through the different types of food and how it affects the event form and the risk assessments and stuff like that. So you might just want to get some pizzas in for an event. Okay, that's really easy. That's the best thing to do.
Trust me, safest.
Yeah, or biryani or whatever you want. And if it's from a supplier that we've used before, even better. So with that, you just tell us what you want. We'll place the order for you, but you have to do the risk assessment, you have to do the event form, and you have to do the finance paperwork. And on the finance paperwork, you put what you want and how many pizzas you want, that kind of stuff. So we use Springs a lot. We use Aziz Catering a lot as well. So you can just go on the website and just put in what you want. You might want to get Subway or something like that.
Yeah.
That's fine as well. But we're getting a lot more requests for different types of food. So now we've got a lot more students from Africa. We're getting requests for lots of like Nigerian dishes and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And some of these restaurants are popping up in Bradford. And great, we can use them. We just need several things from them. We need to know that they've got food hygiene rating, and what that is, you can check that on the website. We need public liability insurance. You can look at that on the website. And we need to sort of know who they are and where they are, that kind of thing.
They're registered in the UK as a company.
Yeah, so basically it's about checking that they're legit, essentially. Yeah. Now, once we've got that information, it'll go through a process where the health and safety people will check it out to make sure it's okay. And then great, off we go. We'll use them and we'll book them, add them to our approved suppliers list. Now, also, you just want to have snacks as well for an event. Great, do that as well. Crisps, cakes, bake sales, that kind of thing. There's no problem with that. The issue is when we get to serving hot food, when you want hot food that maybe the students are going to cook themselves, and maybe your members of your society are going to cook, particularly with rice and meat dishes.
Yeah.
So these are the biggest issues that we get because people die from this kind of stuff, and the university takes it incredibly seriously. So that Friday meeting, if there's any event with food, and if it's not snacks and it's not bought from an approved supplier, then the issues get brought up and flagged up. So it's not to say it's not possible, because Rotimi, former president of the Nigerian Student Society, last year held an end of year gala with lots of home cooked food. Now, the food was cooked by the Culinary Society, so they were an approved group who had to go through this process.
Yeah.
So to get verified, the president had a food hygiene certificate. He brought that in, he showed us what it was. And then they have to go through this process here. So let's look at the event form. You can see here.
Let's see what I did last year.
Yeah, so you got the university food checklist. So this is kind of who it is, what the date of the event is, all that kind of stuff. What food you're going to get. Is it registered with the local council? Have they got insurance? What's the food hygiene rating? So this is the stuff we were talking about earlier. So click on the university food checklist tab. Have they got any certification? Have they got referenced invoices? This kind of stuff. Is it just a guy in his kitchen, essentially? And then you got to look at everything about the food. So if you order in hot food, we need to record many things. So we need a list of what is the food, what are the ingredients, what are the allergens. And if you can see on here, there's a food questions to answer tab. Is it going to be served hot? How is it going to be transported to where you're going to serve it? Where is it going to be cooked? How is it going to be cooked? Who's cooking it? Then once you're serving the food, you've got to think about how you're going to serve it, who's going to serve it, what PPE they're going to use, i.e. blue gloves, that kind of thing. You have to keep a temperature log, which you can see here in the hot food recording form, UOB. So for every dish, you put the date, the time that it arrives, and you record the temperature after certain times. Okay, and it's quite a long and laborious process. However, it can be done. So let's look at the form that the NSS did. So we'll go to the main information form. So you need a list of everything. So the food here that's going to be cooked: amala, puff, samosa, spring rolls,
asum, vegetable soup, and the likes. So
yeah, and if you look at the bottom, down here. So these are the ingredients. So it's a amala, a vegetarian meal made with yam flour and consumed hot. Puff puff, that's very nice. I like that one a lot. It's like a donut. Ogbono and fish soup. So this basically tells us what the allergens are going to be and the likelihood of somebody being potentially poisoned from the food. So when you're displaying the food as well, you need to display what the allergens are, and you need to tell people about the allergens. So it's not just an easy thing to do. However, for example, say like you want to come and you want to showcase the food from your country. Maybe you're part of a society from a country. You want to, let's say there's a Ghanaian society starts and they want to demonstrate that Ghanaian puff puff and jollof rice is better than Nigerian, which I've heard from some people. So you can go through this process. So there's a lot of food here. There is a lot of food on this list. So you don't need to go to that level of detail.
Yeah.
But just be prepared. It will be scrutinized, and you will have to jump through a lot of hoops to do this. So don't be disheartened. If you do want to do food, you do want to cook food or bring food in, it's possible. It's just you might have to produce
than others, basically.
Yeah, you might have to produce a food hygiene certificate. So it could involve you going on a course, an online course.
And talking about food, so we have the university's catering service, Baxter Story. So I mean, if you want to use this service, though they're very expensive, but if you have the money, you can also use their service to bring in food. And trust me, that is so easy. You won't go through so much. Is it bottlenecks now? Yeah.
So that's food. Any questions? Again, drop us an email. We'll put a link to this as well in the description. So that's it. How many videos was that for event forms? Quite a lot. So as you can see, the event form can be quite a big process, but you just tailor it for whichever event it is that you're doing. Okay, so join us on the next video. There's plenty to come.